All right. Hey guys, listen, welcome to this is episode number three of the Larry Holsey podcast. And I'm excited to share some things with you. So, we're going to be talking about the next principle in the 17 principles of success from Napoleon Hill. Okay. So, I was just checking my thing 17 principles of success to make sure I was wording it properly. I've got it over here on the wall. I've got this all 17 principles right there on this poster, which I have framed in my office to keep me on track. And as I go through these guys, I want to, talk to you guys about I'm no expert in these things. Okay. I'm a work in progress, just like you guys. We're all kind of on this journey, trying to figure things out, get better, get a little bit better every day. And I'm on this journey with you guys. And we're certainly, so as I share these things, just keep in mind, I haven't figured these out. I'm not the expert necessarily. I may have more experience in one area or another than you guys, and I'm sure you guys, have more experience than me and more success than me in certain areas as well. So I just want to share some of the things that I've learned, share some of the things that I'm learning, and actually, as I teach it and I talk about it, I actually get better myself. So I'm just closing out some of these windows here so I don't bog my computer down while we're doing this broadcast. But so anyway, so what I found is whenever you learn something, wherever you said learn something, you get some out of it. But man, whenever you teach it, oh man, that's when you really start to know something. So I'm super excited about this podcast, this one and all the ones, just the podcast in general, because it's helping me dig in. It's holding me accountable, making me learn more, making me apply more. And man, can you imagine if we just all did what we already know to do? And I mean, if we just did what we know, our lives would be phenomenal, and they would be just turning out amazing. So too many times we don't do those things that we already know to do, and we need those reminders. Okay, so we're going to talk about the mastermind principle. Okay, the mastermind principle, and I want to just share some things in my life and my business that have made a big difference for me. Okay, and I've been a part of a mastermind with a group of men for the last man. It's been more than 20 years. Okay, more than 20 years, and I was invited into this group years ago. I was a young, up and coming leader. Okay. I had a lot of things going on. I had a lot of achievement happening, but I also had a lot of places that I was like, not on track. Okay. And so these guys invited me in to this mastermind. And we hold each other accountable. We study, different success things, study Napoleon Hill. We study the Bible. We study different success strategies. We talk about business. We talk about family. We talk about taxes. We talk about everything really. We meet, we try to meet once a week. Some seasons of that time are really diligent. Some other seasons are more crazy, and maybe we don't meet as much. And so I wouldn't say that we've mastered the mastermind principle in the way that Napoleon Hill lays it out. I'm going to give you some tips for how he lays it out and things that you need to do or that you could do. But it's a step in the right direction for sure, and it's been very valuable in my life. Okay, so I'd say the number one. Let's start with some notes. And this is not from my notes with Napoleon Hill, but they are notes just from my experience and from what I've learned is probably the greatest contributor to your success. Okay, or lack thereof. Let's say the greatest contributor to where you end up in life is going to be the influence of the people around you, the influence of the people that you're surrounded with. Okay. So if you just take the five people, let's just talk about an income because income is easy to count. All right. So we can count income, can't count everything else. So that's why money is such an important subject, is because you can count it. It's concrete. It's an exact amount. And it really is an indicator. The amount of money you make is an indicator of how much value you have brought to the marketplace. Okay. So the more value you bring to the marketplace, the more money you're going to make. So that doesn't mean if you don't make much money that you're not valuable. It just means because we're all valuable in God's eyes. We're all valuable creation. We're a valuable person to society. But if you don't get, if you're not very valuable to the marketplace, you don't get much money. So if we're going to determine value to the marketplace, we need to look at the income, and we can count that and see that, okay, if I need more income, I need to bring more value. All right. So let's talk about the people around you. So the people around you are going to affect your value that you bring. So if you look around at the 5 people you spend the most time with, in fact, I would just make a list right now. Who am I spending the most time with? Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with? Write their names out. Bob, Mary, Joe, Larry, whatever. Okay. Who are those people? And then I want you to think about, okay, what are their incomes? Those 5 people, what are their incomes? Now, if you take their incomes and you average it, chances are that your income is going to be within a few $1,000s of their income. Okay. Annually, I'm talking. Okay. A few thousand annually, probably a few $100s if you figure it on a monthly basis. So, some good questions to ask yourself about those people, okay, would be, what have they got me? What have they got me reading? Do they have me reading? Okay, are they readers or are they not readers? What do they have me watching? So, what do they have you watching? If you're watching TV, or you watching educational, YouTube videos, or you listen to podcasts and talking about those, what kind of how does that relationship revolve around those types of things? What do they have me um, saying? Okay. Like, what do those people have me saying? So, what are those conversations? Whenever you get together with those people, what are the conversations about? Are they uplifting? Are they talking about people? Are they gossiping? Are they conversations where you're judging others, where you're talking about, oh, can you believe so and so and what they did, and you're just like picking people apart? Is that what that conversation is? If that is the conversation, listen, that ain't going nowhere. That kind of relationship is going nowhere in life, and you want to run from people like that. Okay. Uh, are you talking about ideas? Are you talking about success? Are you talking about winning? Are you talking about raising great kids? Are you talking about positive, clean, pure things? Are you talking about things that God is showing you? That you're reading in the Word, that you're reading in your personal development. Are you talking about things that you saw? Like, for instance, I just saw uh, this episode of, it's called, what's it called? It's called Untold. It's a series, it's a Netflix series, Untold, and it's called Swamp Kings. Okay. And it was about the Florida Gator football team that was so dominant with Urban Meyer as the coach, and Tim Tebow was there when he won the Heisman and when they won a couple of national championships. And man, there is so much, it's very entertaining. But I was talking to my friend Brad earlier, Brad, who's got a great podcast, by the way, Brad Harris, the Legacy podcast with Brad Harris. It's a uh, we were talking about the lessons that we learned by watching that series, and how we really want some of our guys in our team to watch it too, because there's so many leadership lessons, so many achievement lessons in that series, and sports is such a great thing for that. And we were just discussing how it could benefit our team, our guys, our mindset. So that was the conversation we had around that. Not that, oh, dude, wasn't that cool? Yeah, wasn't that cool? But man, what did you learn from that? What did I learn from that? That's like, how can we apply this to our business, to our team, to our family? Really, really, really cool. Okay. So, all right. So the other thing to ask, and guys, you're going to learn with me. I am not very linear sometimes in my thinking. Sometimes I'll bounce around and hit this thing and that thing, and I've got a tad, touch of ADD, where I may talk about this thing or that thing. But if you guys just go with me, hopefully you like my style and you vibe with it. But I don't always hit, right in order. So, okay. So when we're looking at people, that we're hanging around. So what another thing to ask, what if they got me? So what if they got me talking about? That's what we talked about. What if they got me reading? What if they got me listening to? But probably the most important thing, what if they got me thinking about? And what if they got me becoming? Because the kind of person we become is going to determine what we get in life. Okay. It's all about who we become. So setting a big goal to go out and make a lot of money is really more about the person you become than having the little green pieces of paper. Okay. It's not about the pieces of paper, it's about who you become in the process. So I like to set big goals and I like to work with people who set big goals because when you have big goals, then it requires you to man up. Okay. To man up, and forgive me if you think that's sexist, but that's the term. And you guys know what I mean by that. Man up. You got to man up, you got to grow up, you got to level up, okay? And so you got to just level up and like become what that goal requires of you, okay? And that's why I like setting big goals and big things to achieve. And like when we talked about definite as purpose, that would definitely apply, okay? So all right. So here's now when you look at those people and you look at what they've got you reading, listening to, talking about, and becoming, now you've got to ask the hard question. Okay. And the hard question is this. I want you to write this in your notes if you're taking notes. Is that okay? So, this direction that they have me going, that they have me becoming, that they have me headed in, is that okay? If I hang around, if these are my 5 most influential relationships over the next 10 years, the next 20 years, the next 30 years, is that okay? Is that going to take me where I want to go? Is it going to take me to the life God designed me for? Is it going to take me where I want to be? So, will I be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? What's the end result of that? And is that okay? And you got to be the judge of that. You be the judge. If that's okay with you, then you stick with it. If you're hanging around people that you think are bringing the best out of you, man, stick with it. All right. If you see, wow, you look at it and you're like, man, this is not okay. I don't like where this is going. And yeah, this is comfortable. And yeah, these are my boys from high school or my boys from college or my girlfriends or whatever. These are the people that I've known forever. It's my cousin and my high school friend or whatever. And you love them. But sometimes you have to say, man, it's not okay. I don't like where it's going. I don't like where this is headed, and I got to make a change. And that's hard. So hard. It's hard to do. It's a hard thing to do. But here's some ways that you could make the change. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the mastermind because it's so important. But you could, number one, you could have limited association. Okay. So some people just don't bring the best out of you, and you just need to have limited association. Okay. That means you just limit it. So you can spend a few minutes with them, but not a few hours. Or you can spend a few hours, but not a few days. And you just limit the association. Okay, so that's one strategy. The other strategy is uh, just eliminate them. Eliminate that relationship. Some relationships don't need limited association; they need no association. Okay, and you know who those people are. If you should just have no association, maybe that's the case on some of them. Okay, and the third one, which will tie right into the mastermind principle, is to have expanded association. Okay, so expanded association means that you're on purpose getting association with other people outside that circle that will help expand your mindset, expand your life's goals, expand what you do in your life, and you intentionally go find those relationships. Okay. So expanded association. All right. So that ties right into the mastermind. So a mastermind would be a group of people. Okay. Let me just read you from my notes here what the mastermind is. Okay. Actually, I've got it right here. Okay. Here it is. So the mastermind would be defined, and this is from Think and Grow Rich. Okay. By Napoleon Hill. Great book. The mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Let me read it again. Coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So that's really great. And I'll tell you what the best mastermind on the planet is a marriage. Okay. Getting married. I've been married 23 years. My wife, Heather, and I. And, I mean, we've had times where we're completely in sync and on point, and we've had times where we're like, not on point and not in harmony. Okay. And I'll tell you, harmony is better. And harmony comes from working on a definite objective, a definite goal, a definite vision that's a joint vision that you're both focusing on. Okay. So anyway, all right. So let's talk about how you can create a mastermind. Okay. So a mastermind certainly can be a marriage, two people. It can be a group of men or women that are focused on a similar objective. But I'm just going to read you some. Actually, there's 6 points here that Napoleon Hill lists as ways to, or things to focus on when you're creating a mastermind. So he said, and anyway, so these are from some of the most successful people, the 500 successful people he interviewed and what they would do. Okay. So number one, adopt a definite purpose as an objective, choosing the right people to achieve that purpose. Okay. So adopt a definite purpose as an objective, choosing the right people to achieve that purpose. So make the selection from people chosen for their ability to help you where you are going. List the things you need for the attainment of your goal and systematically fill in the steps with the proper persons who will help attain that objective. So if you're going to create a mastermind, you want to think about who can help you attain that objective. So you wouldn't create a mastermind to create wealth with a bunch of losers. Okay. Not that if sometimes don't get offended with me. Don't look for a reason to be offended. Okay. But you're not going to go pick a bunch of losers to go with you on a mastermind to win. Okay. You want to find winners with a winning mindset because winners win. Okay. And if you find somebody with a losing mindset, I'll tell you what they're going to be doing. They're going to be losing. And you don't want to be tied to that anchor. Okay. So, all right. So as we go here, sometimes I know as I do this, I'm probably going to offend some people, and that's okay. But I'm just going to be who I am, and you just be who you are, and hopefully I can provide some value to you. But I just know that some people are going to get maybe sideways with me, and that's okay. You can go find a different, you can find a different podcast that somebody with you maybe you vibe better on. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to be who I am. All right. So point two is determine what appropriate benefit each member may receive in return for his cooperation in the alliance. Okay. So whenever you approach somebody to be a part of your mastermind, you want to be conscious of what's in it for them. What are they going to get in terms of value? So you're thinking about giving value, not being a taker. Okay. You want to be giving value. All right. Number three, establish a definite plan where the members of the alliance will meet. Okay. Super important to have a definite plan where you guys meet on a consistent basis and you have a definiteness to it. Okay. It's not like, hey, let's get together next month. That's really not going to work. Okay. It's not going to work for a mastermind or for any kind of growth plan. Okay. So you need to have regularity to the meetings. You can meet. And with technology, hey, man, you can meet on Zoom. You can meet in person. The guys in my mastermind are from Lubbock, Texas, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and we got one non-Texan in the group from Kansas City, Missouri. Okay. I don't know how he got in there, but poor guy doesn't live in Texas. You got to feel bad for him, right? All right. So, okay. So, and I live in Amarillo, Texas. So okay, number four, the leader, whoever the leader is, whoever puts it together, if that's you, must shoulder the responsibility of the group and see to it that harmony is maintained so that everybody stays focused on that clear objective. Okay. Number five, be sure that you focus on definiteness of purpose. Wow. Okay. Definiteness of purpose. That is, so you guys need to stay on a definite plan. Okay. All right. Number six. Okay. The number six is just about the number of individuals in the group, which can be determined by you guys and what really works. Okay. So, all right. So if you'll start a mastermind, if you'll start just thinking just on a basic level about influence of people around you, the influence of others in your life is subtle, yet it's powerful. And I'll just end with this story. If somebody tried to push you off track, okay, they try to push you off track, you're probably going to stand against that and you're going to stay on track. But if somebody just nudges you a little bit off track, a little bit off track, 1% off track every day, 1% off track every day, every week, every month, then it's easy to find yourself over kind of in left field and be like, man, how did I get here? Why am I so off track? And if you look back and you see the subtle influence of others that have influenced you and pushed you a little bit off track, a little bit off track, a little bit off track, it can that influence is subtle but very, very powerful in your life. So whether you're thinking just about that level of just the influence of the others around you versus the higher level of really creating some kind of mastermind to get the expanded influence, highly recommend it. And also, man, what an age we live in. You have podcasts you can listen to, you have YouTube, you have masterminds you can join. You have all kinds of things that you can get involved in to expand your influence, to expand the influence of people around you, expand your mindset, expand your learning. And of course, most important thing is to take action on those things. All right. So listen, you guys have a great day, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys on the next episode.